This is Kunle Amzat Studio, Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening. Welcome to the news around the world on Agidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan, the most listened to radio station. I am Oluwatosin Ologun. First, the headlines. Analyst supports National Assembly 100,000 fine. Jail for traffic offenders. Classrooms reopen in Oriwe as kidnapped victims return. China opposes UK takeover of British steel operations. Trump puts election security at center of Republicans' midterm fight. Thomas Tuchel retains FA backing despite England's World Cup exit. Now the details. A socio-political analyst on Agidigbo FM radio, Comrade Femi Babalola, has supported a National Assembly bill that prescribes a 100,000 fine and a 2-year jail term for traffic offenders, as well as for persons caught hawking in buses and preaching in commercial vehicles. Speaking on Shokoa program today, Comrade Babalola said the fine is a good one, as a lot of lives have been lost on the road due to the fact that most people do not obey traffic rules.
That even giving them sanction that is even more than that is not even bad at all. Sometimes our people, they are always in a hurry. Instead of waiting for the signals of the light for them to be able to move or rather to stop, that restlessness attitude always pulls them, you understand, to do what is not very convenient. And now that they are going to be sanctioned with 100,000, I think it is a very good idea.
In the same vein, a co-analyst on the program, Honorable Segun Ogungbayi, also cautioned against preaching inside buses, stressing that places of worship remain the appropriate venues for religious outreach, noting that we live in a volatile environment. Over 50 days after gunmen stormed schools in Oriwe local government area of Oyo State and took away students and teachers into the forest, many of the children have once again embraced their families. Across the affected communities, classrooms that were once deserted are reopening. Farmers are making their way back to farmlands, and villages that had been frozen by fear are slowly finding their voices again. But beneath the appearance of normalcy lies a pain that refuses to disappear. Agidigbo FM News correspondent Oluwapemi Bamdele visited the communities to report life after the kidnapping.
For weeks, Aurodada, Yawota, and Isile communities existed in silence. School bells stopped ringing, farms were abandoned, and parents slept with unanswered prayers. Every passing day deepened the fear that some of those taken might never return. Today, many of those prayers have been answered. The rescued pupils and teachers are back in the arms of their loved ones. Yet, for many families, the reunion have been overshadowed by the painful realization that captivity ended, but trauma did not. The classrooms are no longer empty, but neither are they the same. In our Dada community, children are gradually returning to schools after staying home out of fear. One teacher returning home on motorbike says parents are still terrified, and every unfamiliar sound sends anxiety through the villages. After reuniting with his family, 15-year-old Bello Hassan recounted rainy and sunny days and the uncertainty of whether they would come home.
Àti wọ́n padà tẹ́ ẹ̀ rí Mr. Michael ẹ̀ wò pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀. ìgbà tá a ti a gbọ́ ariwo wọn ibẹ̀ la mọ̀ ìgbà tá sì dé wọn mú wọn padà.
For his father, Mr. Bello, surrounding to fear of not returning to school would mean allowing kidnappers to win twice. The school where his son was abducted is the same school that raised him decades ago.
This is my community, and I will not pray my community to collapse. And this is the school I attended, so I will not let the school to collapse. So by the grace of God, so you get back to the school.
Not every family has found such strength. One elderly grandfather to 4 of the children still receiving treatment said his grandchildren will never attend school again. While some families are celebrating with their loved ones, for Mrs. Olaleye, there will never be a reunion with her husband and the father of her 3 children. When the news broke that victims have been rescued, Mrs. Olaleye waited with hope that her husband, one of the abducted teachers, would walk through the door. Instead, she received the devastating news that he had died in captivity.
Very sad. Because I was expecting my husband. But I didn't see him. So, very sad. Please, I'm begging government to release the death of my husband for me.
The Chief Medical Officer of Lautech, Professor Olawale Olakuleyin, says the reunification is just one of the steps to recovery.
We have a well-organized social work department, medical social workers, well organized. We have standby ambulances, and we are working closely with the comprehensive health center that is at Ikoyi, which is within the locality of the incident, so that if there is anything unusual, the response from us could be as rapid as possible.
After days of fears, uncertainty, and nationwide concern, hope has finally returned to many families in Oyo State. 31 of the rescued school children abducted in Orire local government area have now reunited with their families, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their recovery. While emotional scars may take time to heal, authorities say the children will continue to receive medical and psychological support as the healing process continues. From Ogomosho, Oluwakwemi Bamidele, Agidigbo FM News.
The Akko State Chairman and national officers have paid a solidarity visit to the National Chairman, Barrister Maxwell Mbudem, at the party's National Secretariat, Abuja, where they passed a vote of confidence in his visionary, purposeful, transformative and progressive leadership, which attracted numerous Nigerians to the party. Accord members expressed optimism that the party will win the 15th of August 2026 governorship election in Osun State for a start, and urged residents to turn up en masse and vote for the party. Meanwhile, the national chairman of the party, Barrister Maxwell Mbudem, commended the state chairman and national officers who paid him a solidarity visit, assuring them that he would justify the confidence reposed in him. Barrister Mbudem stressed the need for members to be in one accord, saying he is open to advice in building a stronger political platform with national appeal and counts on the cooperation of leaders and members of the party. The party leaders therefore urged Nigerians to identify with Accord and vote for its candidate in the 2027 general election. The chief imam of Agidigbo FM Central Mosque, Alhaji Zakaria Yunus Baba, has reminded Muslims that Islam is fundamentally a religion of peace, urging the Muslim community to hold firmly to the values of harmony, tolerance, and unity. Alhaji Zakaria also called on government at all levels to put in place strong and effective laws that will protect citizens from religious discrimination.
The government should please make a rule that whichever religion that go against another religion will be punished. Also, if Muslims that go against other religion, there should be punishment. And if other religion also go against Islamic religion, there should be a punishment for such behavior.
The chief imam further admonished Muslims to submit wholeheartedly to the will of Allah in all circumstances, encouraging them to accept both ease and trials as part of divine decree. Now it's time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Kulanza Studio at Gidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Olushola Damilola. And the Boham is now the new Labour leader taking over from Saki Stama after winning the support of the party's MP. Boham became Labour leader today, but he will not become UK Prime Minister until Monday. The process on Monday will begin with Saki Stama meeting King Charles to formally offer his resignation as Prime Minister. However, the King will meet Boham soon afterward when he will ask him to form a government. Once Boham has accepted, he will officially be the UK's Prime Minister. Although Prime Minister are not directly elected in United Kingdom, unlike French presidents, they are the leaders of the party with the most members of parliament in the House of Commons. Boham was born in Liverpool in 1970, studied English at the University of Cambridge, and first worked in journalism before moving into politics in his early 20s. China has hit out at the nationalization of British Steel, saying it firmly opposed and strongly dissatisfied with the British government decision. On Thursday, UK government announced that taking the loss-making firm into public hands will protect jobs and safeguard a vital national capability. However, China Commerce Ministry earlier today said that the moves seriously infringe upon China's legitimate rights and interests and severely undermine the confidence of Chinese companies investing in the United Kingdom. And that ends the news from Huliamza Studio at Gidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Olushola Damilola.
Welcome back. We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kunle Amzat Studio, our Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya. U.S. President Donald Trump intensified his efforts to make election security a key issue ahead of November's midterm elections, claiming that China interfered in the 2020 presidential election despite a U.S. intelligence assessment that found no evidence supporting the allegation. In a nearly 30-minute primetime address from the White House on Thursday, Trump repeated many of his long-standing claims that he said exposed shocking vulnerabilities. However, the document appeared to provide little support for his assertions, although Trump argued that the U.S. election system was highly susceptible to interference. He presented no evidence that any vote in the 2020 election had been altered or manipulated. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian dismissed the claim of Chinese interference as totally fabricated and a malicious smear. He urged the United States to engage in self-reflection, stop making what he described as baseless accusations against China that contribute to stable China-US relations. Uganda's government has suspended all school trips following Thursday's evening's bus crash that killed at least 20 students and one adult during an educational excursion. Dozens of others, including school staff, were injured in the accident in Kapowa district in eastern Uganda. Preliminary investigations indicate the bus suffered a mechanical failure before the driver lost control while descending Chikwatit Hill, a section of road that local officials say has been a scene of several serious crashes. But the latest accident is among the deadliest involving school children in recent years. And that is the news from Kuliamzat Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya.
Welcome back once again. In the exciting world of sports, Thomas Tuchel is set to stay as England head coach to Euro 20 semi-final exits. The Three Lions 60-year wait for a major men's trophy continues after Argentina came from behind to win 2-1 in Atlanta and set up Sunday's showpiece finale against Spain. England went 1-0 up through Anthony Gordon's 55th minute strike, but Enzo Fernandez equalized on 85 minutes before Lautaro Martinez header in the second minute of stoppage time snatched a dramatic victory. England will face France in Saturday's third place playoff match in Miami, and Thomas Tuchel vowed to continue on to the next European tournament due to be hosted by England, Wales, Scotland, and the Republic of Ireland come 2028. To wrap up the news this evening, here's a recap of the headlines. Analysts support National Assembly 100,000 fine, jail for traffic offenders. Classrooms reopen in Orire as kidnapped victims return. China opposes UK takeover of British steel operations. Trump puts election security at center of Republicans' midterm fight. Thomas Tuchel retains FA backing despite England's World Cup exit. And before we go this evening, here's a quick tip. No matter how many mistakes you make or how slow you progress, you are still way ahead of everyone who isn't trying. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on our Gidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan, the most listened to radio station. I am Oluwatosin Ologun. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power.